Hi, good morning. We have seen the previous video, the living world, the first one, what living world and what are all the criterions. And today we'll start with diversity in the living world. You know what diversity means? Especially the biodiversity, living creatures, whether it is a plant or an animal, it is diversified. It is absolutely diversified throughout the globe, and the number is too much, like IUCN data. This is International Union for Conservation of Nature and Natural Resources. They are the people, though they get a data of how many plants are present, on that what are all coming under red list, that is endangered. So the entire collection of plants and animal they'll maintain, and according to them it is around some 1.7 to 1.8 millions of species present in this planet Earth. But this is general, but the Robert May calculation says it is about 7 million. So when a layman goes, he simply talks about 20 to 50 million. It is a rough estimation, but these two are something authentic estimation of these many species are present. Imagine that so much is present, so many plants and animals are present. It is very tough for them to remember or keep it in a group unless until there is a proper designed system should be there. Even for example, when we have a clothes, like we have a sari and then inners, and you have a churidar and jeans pant and tops, and if it is arranged in an order in a bureau, you just can go and pick it up. Like that you have to group it. It is easy. So to avoid a confusion, grouping is very important, so that even when you work in a last minute, you can pick up things and you can make a work smoothly. For that, they've just gone for arrangement, that is called taxonomy. Taxonomy means law of arrangement. How to arrange? What are all the components of taxonomy? Look at this. Characterization first. Second one is identification. Third one is classification. And the fourth one is nomenclature. Okay, first thing is characterization. What is characterization? Say, like every plant, every animal has got some morphology. You can see the animal. You don't get confused with monkey and lion and tiger. There is some morphology and everybody is familiarized with, but this is a bigger one. When you go to the smallest creatures, we ourselves will get confused, but those who are working on that will have a morphological description. They'll just give a clear cut idea about morphology and other characters. So talking about that is characterization. And using all this, you are identifying. Identification is very important. See, unless until you identify, how can you put them in the class? How can give them a name? So using this morphological and other features, you are just identifying, and then you are grouping them. As I said, saris arranged in a group, and churidar materials or pant, like that you can just arrange. So you are just grouping in. For example, all insects coming under the same group, monocot plant in one group, dicot plants one group, chlorophyceae algae member one group, like they just group it. Classification, that is, after grouping it, and you can just give them a name, and name is called nomenclature. And here, look at this, characterization and identification is just a description. You can't, I see in this small title, you cannot think about every ant to be described or cockroach to be described. It's not possible. So we just go with from classification. Even the classification is a separate lesson in your, the next title is the classification, the next chapter in your NCERT book is. So here I just give what classification. It's such a small introduction. Look at this, the classification is from Vedic period we have been classifying, till date we have been classifying. Look at this, Shushruta, a father of surgery. Okay, he is a father of surgery, and this man classified the living world like Stavara. Stavaram means stavaram, plant. they are immobile, and Jangama, they are animals, it is mobile. Like that he classified. After that, in Hippocrates, father of medicine, okay, Hippocrates, father of medicine, and Aristotle, father of zoology. These two have classified animals on the basis of their habitat: aquatic, terrestrial, land, and aerial, birds. And then Theophrastus, father of botany, and this man actually he classified plants by their height order: trees, shrubs, undershrubs, and herbs. And then when you come down to the Linnaeus period, Carolus Linnaeus, father of taxonomy, because he brought out so many changes in taxonomy. Okay, so he made 24 classes in plants and 6 classes in animals. This is just an introduction. And here he wrote 2 books, Species Plantarum in 1753 and Systemae Naturae in 1758. Here he mentioned many things like how the plant and how the descriptions and other things, the grouping, everything he has made it. So in this Systemae Naturae, so initially they were talking about systematics only. Systematics. Systematics is the term more or less similar with taxonomy, but addition to that, one particular ingredient is added with that. Listen, see, taxonomy, the components are characterization, identification, classification, and nomenclature. And systematics means with all this plus one interrelationship. There is an interrelationship between the groups. They say when they name the plant also, they just consider something which is Solanum tuberosum, Solanum melangina, the genus name, or they just see the evolutionary significance, and all that is considered as a systematic. So they both are same, but systematics will have a little bit higher order of one more addition of a component with interrelationship. Understood? And when you talk about this, the classification, with this I just cut this because you have a separate title later to go with. Now we go with the nomenclature. Nomenclature means just naming. Naming is, you know, everyone is so fond of their own name or to keep a good name, you know, like naming is very important in my, because it is a scientific name. Scientific name means it is universally accepted and throughout the globe, wherever you go. See, for example, you wanted to work it on mango plant. So going to a scientific world, you cannot say it is mango or mambalam, or in Hindi, you cannot. It is a scientific name, Mangifera indica. It is universally accepted, and everyone, any corner of the world, a scientist community, a botanist, a biologist, come to know that Mangifera indica means it is mango. So the universal name should be used while you are carrying on the work on a particular species. So they've just given, that is called nomenclature, wherein initially it was polynomial. Polynomial means a single plant or an animal has got a number of names, like 10 names, like 12 names together. It was very tired to remember and a lot of confusion and all that. Later on, Bohin, okay, the scientist called Bohin, Caspar Bohin, he was the one who gave an idea that okay, let us have a binomial kind of a thing to avoid the confusion or to remember easy. But the credit, absolute credit, goes to Linnaeus, Carolus Linnaeus, because he used those binomial system in his Systemae Naturae. So the entire credit goes to him, though he has given an idea. And for that, 2 names have been precisely given to every species, like 2 names in the sense, it is one genus name. The first name is generic name, the second name is specific epithet or a species name, wherein the entirely it should be within some 3 to 20 letters. It is good. So much means you cannot remember, and for that there are some specific thing, you know, it should be there compulsorily. Scientific name or binomial name means it should be in Latin, because the Latin was the language they were using to give the name. Reason, Latin is a dead language, so there won't be further changes. So for that they selected Latin. And the second thing, the first name, that is genus name, the first letter should start with capital. For example, if I write Homo sapiens, Homo capital letter, this is the genus name, and this is the species name, this is the small letter. So the species name should be written in small case, and generally it should be italicized. When you print it, when you type it, it should be italicized, but that's not possible when you write. For example, if I write Solanum melangina, no, I can just underline this separate and this separate. It is not a common thing, common single line. The genus name should be underlined separate and specific name underlined separate, and that is one of the basic criterion to highlight. Okay, the specific name, that is the scientific name, should be highlighted so specifically when you are reading the paragraph. For that they are just given the beauty of italics or underlining, and then there is no ambiguity. Ambiguity in the sense, there are some 1.7 or 1.8 million approximately, but according to the Robert May 7 million, every single species in this planet has got different name. There is no confusion. Okay, no two names. Okay, so there is no two species having the same name. Understood? So there is no confusion. Every single species has got their unique name. So no ambiguity. And no tautonym in plants. Tautonym means the same genus and specific name. For example, I could say Rattus. This is applicable in animals. So see, the same name it is. Genus name and species name are same. This is applicable in animals, but it is not applicable in plants. Okay. So these are the thing. So the naming, the nomenclature, the naming ceremony, all this is in the hands of ICBN, International Code of Botanical Nomenclature for botany, for plants, International Code of Zoological Nomenclature for animals, bacterial nomenclature, so for bacteria. So they are the authentic people to give name. So they analyze. For example, if you find out, you are just you are a herbarium keeper, you find out some new plant or new insect or something which you find out new in your area, you cannot give name. You have to consult these people, that whether it is coming under which phylum or which group, which class and all that. Later you can take to them and they will give a name. So they are the authentic people to give a name of any species or belong to a plant or an animal. So this is about nomenclature. Okay. The rest of the details about the classification or a taxonomical hierarchy, you have kingdom to species and what is the meaning of species, everything we will discuss in the next video. So with this I'll just wind up this lecture, and if you have any feedback, please come forward to put it in your comment. Thank you.